Bobby Lashley thing. If you want to give your quick opinion on it, because I mean they heard everything I said.
It's trash.
Yeah,
I agree 100% with what you said. They've drug it out way too long. The best part of this storyline was Liv Morgan going lesbian because, Liv Morgan's fucking hot. So.
Spank bank. I went to the spank bank. Gonna make a deposit. But
and the freaking guys straight popped for that. I don't think I've seen a pop that big in WWE in a while.
Probably since Austin.
Right?
So, I got some notes here to go over and some things. We're going to cover Wrestle Kingdom. I've got an interview with Chad French from Midwest Territories. I talked a little bit about that earlier. We've got... hold on. Nope, wrong notes. We've got to talk a little bit about the Tessa Blanchard debacle going on with that. What do you think about hold on, let me see what I got here first. First thing we'll talk about, since we're talking about debacles, and characters like that. I had somebody put this question up on Twitter, and they said just don't worry about naming them. They just were talking to me about it, and they wanted to know what we thought about
question from Nameless.
Yeah, question from Nameless. NA. Vacant's he's gonna have a good year. Is Elias
Vacant making those?
Yeah. Is Elias a stale and pointless character? I don't watch much WWE, but when I have watched, Elias has been involved mostly, especially around the pay-per-views and everything. And I don't know. I don't think he's pointless and stale. I think that there's a chance he could get that way eventually, but that could happen to any character if they're not revitalized, if they don't have enough vigor. I think that WWE could do more with him, but I don't think it's stale. What do you think about Elias, Sean?
Elias absolutely serves a point. He is the person that comes out there and sings and gets interrupted every week, so that way the person interrupting him gets a big ass pop. So do I say he's pointless? No, he's serving a point. He's that heel that just like everyone loves to see him get interrupted. They're like, how far is Elias going to get into a song this week before someone interrupts him? So pointless, no. Is he stale? Most definitely.
You think he's stale?
He was getting a good following. He was getting a good following there for a minute, and then I don't know if he got injured or what happened, but they just kind of like pulled him. Now he's doing his little singing bits and stuff, like starting off the show. And stuff like that, but he's absolutely gone stale, in my opinion.
I don't know. I don't think he's stale yet. I mean, what do you think they could do with him, Sean?
Repackage him so he's not coming out. No, it works for R-Truth because R-Truth is, he's adapted to his role as a jobber. Like he's embraced it. He knows 9 out of his 10 matches when he goes out there, he's going to get squashed. But Elias, I don't think he's quite accepted that fate. Like, they just need to repackage him. He's not a bad wrestler when he actually wrestles. I think if they repackaged him and made him like a really good heel, that they can possibly save him.
Well, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But I agree with you. I think that Elias can be saved. As far as his character is concerned, because I don't feel like he's that crazy stale. He might be a little bit, but I feel like he can definitely still be a good character on the show. So we'll have to wait.
And he was the drifter, and he was just like popping up backstage. You just hear like the guitar strum, and he would just like mysteriously walk by and stuff like that. If they kept it like that, I think that he could have been a little bit better. But the whole like coming out doing like little wannabe concerts every week and stuff.
Yeah, I think you're right there too. Yeah,
burnt me out on Elias.
Elias could have been a whole lot cooler if he had kept some mystique around the character. Kept a mystery around the character. Hell, not even talk, just kind of play the guitar and then walk off. There's a lot of those things they could have went with. They even could have used him in the future as like an Undertaker-esque character. Because Bray Wyatt's obviously, I mean, the Fiend may work, but I still feel like the Fiend's shock value is good right now, but it's going to get boring very quickly. I don't know. I swear. We'll talk more about that in depth.
Again, it just really depends on how they direct him. So far, he's had some really good feuds.
Yeah, like getting a Hell in a Cell with no disqualification stopped and disqualified, or Seth Rollins disqualified. That was a great match. Match of fucking 2019.
We're gonna exclude that.
It's not that I don't like the Fiend character, because it's one of the best things WWE has going at all right now. I think it's the only reason they haven't faded into 100% obscurity. But I don't know. Like I said, I feel like it's a shock jock kind of thing. I mean, like it's used specifically to get this pop they're looking for, and people are turning over there to see the Fiend because of the mask and the outlandishness and everything that surrounds the character, the playhouse and all of that, the different personalities, because Bray Wyatt has done a great job of portraying the character. But I do feel like without, and then like I said earlier, this could be said for any character, I feel like the decay of the character arc is not going to last as long as it usually would with somebody with Bray, because you've got to keep a character like that. What's the word I'm looking for? Always revitalized. I mean, you've got to keep them going all the time. It's a lot to deal with a masked character like that. You understand what I'm saying? Like he's got to have that face on camera. Relevant.
Yeah,
that's a better word.
You got to keep them fresh before they go stuff.
Yeah, and so I mean, if you're not staying relevant, which he is right now, I'm not saying that he isn't, but he's got to make sure he keeps that character relevant, or he will just fade off and become stale and irrelevant, and nobody will give a shit. I mean, we'll have to wait and see how they do him, but they got to do him correctly. But we've been saying this about
most definitely.
Yeah, we've been saying this about WWE for years with a bunch of other characters they've had, and they've pretty much let us down every time. So
pretty much. So
just look at the women's division.
See what 2020 holds for the Fiend.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens this year. But speaking of characters and debacles in the women's division, let's talk about Tessa fucking Blanchard. I kind of wanted to get this out there early because, Jesus Christ, we're probably going to talk about this.
You mean Tessa, the new Impact World Champion Blanchard?
Yeah.
That Tessa?
I've got an article here. I'll go through the article, and then we'll get started talking about it. So, Tessa Blanchard, the Tessa Blanchard controversy. I wanted to say it fancily. Tessa Blanchard sent out a tweet on Saturday morning begging fellow female wrestlers to support each other. This was followed by Sienna reminding Blanchard of a time she spit in a woman's face and called her the N-word. Chelsea Green and Priscilla Kelly also replied and accounted for Blanchard's bullying. Now Blanchard is speaking out to address Green's accusations. Blanchard said she's never been anything but kind to Chelsea Green. She then mentioned all of the mean girls that she's dealt with since starting in the pro wrestling business. After admitting to making silly decisions, Blanchard said that she sees zero merit in Green's comment. Chelsea Green says she's consistently belittled and bullied other female workers. As well as Chelsea Green added this past week, I caught on Twitter that there were like 2 or 3 witnesses that she wishes would come and stand up with her against Tessa and say, that she did it and all this. So, yeah, there's that. She's basically going to get turned into a Hogan of the new decade, the first Hogan of this decade.
I think it's haters hating, bro. Like, she's the first female, world champion on any promotion. Like, she is their face. Like, she holds what the men would normally hold, their world title. So I think it's just people that don't like her personally that are using her new status to be like, okay,
remember this
let's
controversy.
Throw some heat out there.
This controversy started before she won the title. Everything started before she won the title. So this, You know,
But she was still in the works of working towards it.
this is true. But I don't know, man. Like, okay, let's say, because gotta stop, go slow.
I'll just say it this way: innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, see, that's my thing. Is because I just don't
people
know.
Can say a lot of shit behind a keyboard and stuff like that. It's real easy to sit there and be a keyboard warrior and pop off some shit that isn't true online.
Well, that, and, we don't even know if this happened. I know that Chelsea Green and a bunch of others are standing up, but what if it's that? What if it's just haters gonna hate type deal? So we have no, actual proof that it's happening except for word of mouth from different wrestlers. And, even if it did, this happened 3 years ago. So, let's say it happened 3 years ago. Any other reasonable human being is going to stand up and be like, no, you're not going to talk to me like that. And they would have reported her to somebody or called her ass out on Twitter 3 years ago. It's 2020.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's about to walk into the biggest match of her life, and then you pull this shit out of your ass a couple of days beforehand?
Especially how PC and everything the last couple years have been. If she would have legit spit on someone and dropped an N-bomb, that would have blown up all over the place.
I agree. Also, sorry. Like I said, I'm hungry. Also, to talk about that, there is the fact that she did get up and she said that on Twitter she gave no merit to Chelsea Green's accusations. But then the night she wins the title, she does a speech afterwards. And during the speech, sorry guys, I was so hungry before we did this. During the speech, she says everybody makes bad decisions and everybody's only human. And I know that she said that she didn't say it, but now she's alluding to, she said it, and it was like a half-ass apology. So which is it? Did you say it, or were you trying to make a half-ass apology after you won the title? She does need to clarify that.
Or maybe yeah, I agree that leaves a lot of room for personal interpretation. But it could also just be the simple fact that, yeah, everybody does make mistakes. At some point, you're going to screw up in your life. Rise above it. She's now a world champion. It could just been from a motivational side.
I mean, possibly. She could have been saying it's just, it's very coincidental. Everything going on with her, and then now she says this. So I mean, like I said, it was just very coincidental.
Or maybe, yeah, like I said, it's definitely open to interpretation. Maybe she had bullied some people in the back, and she's touching on that.
Well, from what I gather, even she has said that she was a different person years ago, and that she was hard to work with and such. But nobody mentioned anything about her calling anybody the N-word.
Yeah. That could be said for any person on the planet.
Especially you.
I'm not the same person I was a year ago.
Thank God. But, it sucks because, she's already been dropped from one wrestling event. I don't know what else she's going to get dropped from. But we know it's coming. Guilty or innocent in this country nowadays, if race is included in a controversy that you're included in, you pretty much your career's dead in the water until you can become relevant again.
Well, she's the old Jimmy C treatment.
Yeah, well, it sucks because it's just like Hogan. Did I agree with what happened? With what Hogan said? Obviously not. But you got to remember, he said this in the privacy of his own home. Did not know he was being recorded.
Yeah, exactly.
And we shouldn't be infringing. We as a people shouldn't judge somebody for saying something behind closed doors. Maybe I'll never.
Look, everybody stood behind Paige and Charlotte and all these females who got their iClouds hacked and all these nude photos leaked. They're like, oh, they had no control over it. That wasn't their. They didn't release any of those themselves, so no consequences were ever dished out. I mean, we saw Paige take a load to the face on her face and the NXT Women's title, and nothing was done about